Hey everybody, it's Dr. Will Cole. We are live here in our Functional Medicine Health Center in Pittsburgh, where we see patients around the world via our virtual functional medicine practice in lovely in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And today we have my friend, Dr. Nigma Talib. I'm so happy to talk to her today. How are you, Dr. Talib?
I'm good. It's sunny here in London, England, so we're happy. You know what the British are like when we have good weather. Everybody's happy and smiling.
That's kind of what London is like, Pittsburgh in many ways, and the weather is one of them. We have a lot of cloudy, rainy days, so.
Yeah. Well, it keeps your skin from looking optimal and not having sun damage. That's the way I'm going to look at it.
So tell everybody what you do. I mean, you are like next level. Like, I'm just a super fan of you since we met at the Goop event a few weeks ago. So fill everybody in on what you do.
Well, feelings are mutual. Will, you're amazing. I am a naturopathic doctor. Yeah, so I practice functional medicine, much like the wonderful Dr. Will Cole. And, you know, as a naturopathic doctor, we look at the root cause. So we're kind of like biochemical detectives, you know, looking at changes in the mitochondria, changes in diet, lifestyle, and supplements that affect genomic expression, the way your genes express themselves. Your genes aren't going to change. You're going to have your dark hair, or your blonde hair, or your blue eyes, or your dark eyes. But it's what we do with our diet, lifestyle, and environment. So naturopathic doctors are very much like biochemical detectives, very much what like Dr. Will Cole does. And I've also written a book in the United States. It's called Younger Skin Starts in the Gut. This is it. And I talk about how, you know, you age from your gut. And I, you know, coined a term called digest aging. Because that's what happens is what I kept seeing patients over and over again, aging from the gut, but I'm sure Dr. Cole is going to ask me lots of questions on that, so I'll leave that for later. And that's basically product development. I've got quite a few products on Net-a-Porter, skin products. I created a skincare line in Switzerland with my scientists because I wanted, as you know, I did this when I was in my late 30s, and now I'm in my mid 40s, and I wanted to have optimal skin as I was aging, and I couldn't find products that I really loved and I was actually seeing results with. So I created my own skincare line and some collagen supplementation and something called Beauty in a Bottle that helps your hair, skin, and nails, and probiotics. And the line is expanding, just very much like yours, Dr.
I mean, skin products, supplements have skin health. So tell everybody how the gut and skin are connected. So people are maybe they want to improve their skin health and they're not realizing that like your book title says, that healthy skin begins in the gut. So can you explain that to everybody?
Absolutely. You know, I like to learn the way when somebody explains something to me, I'll remember it for the rest of my life. And I know when you learn, when you're in school and you're learning things, you're learning about the gut, it's very separated with the gut, the endocrine system. But the way I want you out there, the listeners to hear, is that your gut is literally one cell difference between your bloodstream. So whatever you eat, it's you know, think about security guards, right? If you have a security guard guarding somewhere, you want guards at the front and the back of the entrance of the place. Well, your gut lining is literally the first time you get entrance exposure to the external environment. So any kind of changes in the gut in terms of the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, and the ugly bacteria can impact your immune system. We know 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Everybody knows that. It's common knowledge, which is great. 10 years ago, nobody in a million years, you'd ask people and they wouldn't know, but most of our patients, Dr. Cole, know this. Mm-hmm. And so I kept seeing patients that would come in and they'd say, you know, Dr. Nigma, I'm seeing that now that I've been on your plan, my skin is reversed the signs of aging. What's going on? And one of my patients were saying, my diet's poor, my skin is getting worse, am I digest aging? And I said, you absolutely are. And that's what I used to, and I used to call my patient names. I used to tell them gluten face, dairy face, sugar face, and wine face, because I knew what they were eating based on their face. And I've had many of those faces many a time. I've had all four at some point. So, you know, I wanted people to realize that whatever they were eating was showing up on their skin.
It's great to know that. I think it empowers people to realize that the foods that they eat and their gut health really can make an impact on things that they see. Because it's the way that our society works in the West, really, is that oftentimes what motivates us is things like our skin health and our weight, but we know that the gut can have many far-reaching implications as well. The skin can be almost a sign that there's a lot of other things to be dealing with here.
Absolutely.
So for those that are watching this, what are the top foods that can damage the gut-skin connection, and what are the foods to focus on to have a healthy gut-skin connection?
So the one I'm going to say, and everybody's probably going to guess it by now, is sugar. Okay, so sugar, if you think about sugar, think of a sticky Coke can. That's what sugar does to your white blood cells. That's what it does to your collagen. It hardens the collagen, it hardens the molecules and retards them so that they actually are not functional. And over a period of time, you start to develop something called AGE, advanced glycation end products. And as we know, those AGE, I love that, it's like age, it ages you. It really does age you. It increases your risks for diabetes, arthritis, name any chronic disease, and it does that. Because if you think about it, guess how many blood vessels we have in our body? We have 60,000 blood vessels in our body. There is no way our heart can pump, right, all the blood to all the vessels, because the vessels have the elasticity, right? They contract and they dilate. And when they contract and they dilate, they are pushing in nutrients from our blood into the cells, right? So if we don't have that elasticity, then we impede blood flow. And when you impede blood flow, you then start to age. So you start to get chronic illness, you start to age. So sugar is my number one no-no. And, you know, I think it was like, last time I checked the statistic, I don't know if you know this, Dr. Cole, but I checked this is probably 10 years ago. I haven't checked statistics in a while, but it was 150 pounds of sugar an average American consumed.
Yeah, something like that still, yeah.
Is it still? Okay. It's
yeah.
just, it's incredible. So can you imagine, you know, we see diabetes on the rise. All these diseases are on the rise. You know, why are they on the rise? You know, it's because we've got sugar that's mixed into things like you know, it's in everything pretty much. Yeah. We are getting smarter. We're getting, the wellness is now exploding, you know, and people are more interested in taking care of their health. So sugar's my number one no-no, because of those issues. And it also, Dr. Cole, it causes problems with bacteria in the gut. So it feeds those bad bacteria, as you know. Yeah. So it's not just about aging skin, but it's causing digestive problems. And as we know, our digestion is key to our immune system, for our neurotransmitters. You know, there's so many things that happen with our gut that support us. So I would say sugar is my number one.
Any other ones that you think beneath sugar?
I created the 4 phases.
Yeah, so this is younger skin starts in the gut for those of you in the United States, right?
So it's dairy face is another one. So I don't think the dairy farmers are going to be very happy with me. But as you and I know, there's like 20 different hormones in a glass of milk. And those hormones interfere, and particularly with women, especially fertility. We see so many fertility challenges in women these days. You know, I don't know if you're seeing this, Dr. Cole, in your practice, but I'm seeing lots of issues with infertility. And, you know, dairy is one issue. And it also causes, you know, acne, because you're disturbing the hormones in the system. People have more risks for asthma. We know when we cut dairy out, everyone feels better. So dairy is another one I would cut out. The next one is, and I know you're all going to think out there that this is a fad, but it's gluten. Gluten it's a really difficult one. It's not, you know, wheat is not, it's not cultivated the way it used to be. You know, there's been definite changes, especially in America versus Europe, there are also big changes of when you eat bread here versus the UK. I can tolerate it better in this country and in Italy. I don't know if it's because I'm just happy, but it's, you know, it's the quality of the gluten. But in generally, we have seen changes with gluten in terms of pigmentation on the skin. You get the bloated kind of look. The face gets quite bloated, and your body starts to retain water. It's inflammation. You're creating inflammation. And then the last one, and actually, I actually had, you were pretty good. I had a glass of wine at the Goop event. You know, wine. You know, and it's the 80-20 rule. Like, I'm not saying never to have it, but if you're drinking every single day, you know, wine, 1 or 2 glasses, you know, we also see the same kind of fermentation activity in the gut with wine as you do sugar. So I call it wine face. And so I'd be interested to know your thoughts about wine, Dr. Cole.
Yeah, I agree. I think it puts a stress on the liver. You know, obviously talking about higher amounts. And as the person's healing, I feel like we should decrease that stress, the stressors on the body. Even healthier alcohols like wine, which I think are one of the better kinds of dry organic wine, can be a good, healthy part of a healthy lifestyle. But we're all different, as you know, and I think that some people have a lower tolerance to that than other people. But yeah, I think when you're pinpointing it because of your clinical experience and seeing, okay, for some people, what works for one person may not be right for you. So if someone has wine face, like in your book, I mean, that is something that they need to go off of to heal from. Do you find that when people heal their gut, they can bring some of these foods back in, or are these things that people should remove forever?
Absolutely amazing question. Absolutely. You have to go through the 3 stages, right? Clear, correct, protect. So you want to clear out the bad bacteria and the ugly bacteria. You want to clear out the toxins. You want to improve the ability of the livers. You can't detox someone, but you can enhance their ability to detox. And then you want to correct by putting in the good bacteria, the butyrates. You want to repair those good, the fermentation of the bacteria in the gut that protect the gut lining. You want to put things like glutamine in and probiotics, and then you want to protect. You want to protect the gut lining. And you can, if you do those 3 steps, a lot of people can go back to eating those foods. Some initially, if they try to introduce too quickly, they get a massive reaction. But I recommend, you know, healing the gut can take 6 months to a year, Dr. Cole. I mean, a lot of people want a quick fix because we're so used to this symptom drug, you know, way of living, but that it's not as easy as that. But the good news is once you do some long-term reparative work, you get long-term results. And you see it in your skin, you see it in your health, you see it in your energy levels, you see it in your moods. Like everything changes. It's not just one small change, it's massive. And then that feeds into your whole life, you know, changing right before your eyes.
Yeah, so true. So food is primary. And then the topic when you're talking about skin health and gut health is supplements. Do supplements play a role in the gut-skin connection? And if so, what supplements do you think are the best for radiant skin?
Absolutely. So the best supplements, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I've been putting my patient on supplements now for 20 years. Now, not all supplements are created equally, and that's the problem. So probiotics. Now, there's so many different strains of probiotics, and people are so confused what to buy. So the main ones, lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, those are the main 2. When you start to get into too many different bacteria, I think it really confuses the system. I think those 2 species for sure to start with that. And more is not better. So 20 billion about is around the right amount of probiotic to take. Make sure that the strain has been researched. The strain I use in my Healthy Flora is the DDS1 strain from Nebraska. So it's the most researched strain for the past 30 years, and it survives the gut lumen. And that's, I think, the key with probiotics is that it actually survives. So the probiotics are great. And then for, you know, and I see patients that have breakouts around the chin, like, which is like dairy and sugar face, they get on probiotics, and literally within a couple of weeks, you see a massive reduction in rashes and autoimmune conditions. Probiotics are incredible. So that's the first one. The second one, and the reason why I'm naming my products is because I saw a deficit in the market because I couldn't find these products for myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm sure you thought of the same thing when you were doing your product line. You just want to create things that are going to help people instead of relying on other manufacturers to create them for us. So the Beauty in a Bottle that's got the hyaluronic acid in it, vitamin A, C, E, and zinc, which are crucial for collagen production, lysine. It's a gorgeous concoction, and even people who have like acne, or they have redness in the skin, or they have irritability, or even a weakened immune system, these vitamins, as we know, A, C, and E, and zinc, are so important. They work like a synergy, like a symphony. When working together, they're synergistically supportive to the immune system. So that is another product. It's called Beauty in a Bottle. And then the next one is collagen. Or we're hearing there's such a, I'm getting interviewed by so many different, magazines about collagen and these ingestibles for skin. And collagen is massive because, Dr. Cole, as you know, it helps with the gut lining. It helps repair the gut lining. And the study done on the collagen that we've created has been shown to reduce fine lines, wrinkles, elasticity by 30% in 8 weeks. So that's huge. That was done in the hospital in the south of France. And it was a cool study because it was totally randomized, and they really saw a massive difference in their skin, but not only skin, but their gut. And I added probiotics to the Immortal Skin Collagen Powder because it was important for me to add a gut issue, a gut component to it, along with turmeric, because turmeric is something I grew up with as a kid. I'm really excited that everybody's drinking and eating turmeric now, but it's been in my diet, in curries. It's my grandmother used to shove it down my throat when I had a cough with So it is a really strong antioxidant, good for your skin. So those are really vitamins and minerals that are important for the skin, not just for the skin, but for the gut. Because if you're supporting the gut, you're really supporting the skin. That's your inside skin, if you think of it that way.
Mm-hmm. So good. And since we're on the topic of dealing, and as you know clinically, and your book is all about that, these root causes of skin health have their roots in the gut. Conversely, there's the topical side of things when you're talking about skin health. So there's a lot of skin products out there. I mean, your products are impeccable as far as the quality of ingredients. And just talking to you, I was like amazed at the lengths that you went to get the best ingredients out there. So can you just tell everybody the science behind this and why you picked these ingredients?
Absolutely. So what I did was I looked at the fact that if you look at the Edelweiss in Switzerland, the plants that grow in really rugged environments, the plasma in the plant is the plant stem cells, and they actually provide protection to the plant in general. And what we did was, about 4 or 5 years ago, me and a bunch of people got together and we put an article together and we tried to get it published. It didn't get published until a couple months ago, which was really exciting in the journal of cosmetology. What we found is that plant stem cells actually not only protect the skin against oxidative stress, environmental UV, but it actually helps with collagen production and elasticity. So that was really exciting to me when we were looking at more and more research on this. And then we put our heads together and said, okay, we need to put a plant stem cell, hyaluronic acid, snail peptide. I don't know if you remember that study with the Chilean farmers, and they found that when they were working with snail, the mucus from the snail, that their hands were getting so soft. And not only were they getting soft, anyone with eczema or psoriasis, it was actually disappearing by the constant application of the snail peptides. So that I definitely want that in the serum. And then we used a special technology called light water, which basically removes those heavy isotopes off the water. It's like light water versus heavy water. What that means in layman's terms is it's pushing the ingredients deep into the skin. Because if you think of the skin, it's like a raincoat. Anyone that tries to put oil on the face, they're thinking they're keeping their skin moisturized. You're actually creating more you're creating more in irritation. And those individuals will feel like their skin is lubricated, but it's actually not. So that's why I wanted to create a serum that actually was hydrating at a very deep level and giving people that kind of oil feel where their skin actually feels hydrated. Now, we know that healthy skin is an inside job as well, but you touched on something great, Dr. Cole, is that it's an in and outside job. You need both to optimize your skin wellness.
Yeah, it's so good. And I mean, your skin products are like beloved by many people, like celebrities and normal people and everyone in between. So I don't, you know, I'm amazed by what you're doing. It's really great stuff. If for your own personal life, what's one food and one supplement, and maybe you've said it already, but what's one food and one supplement for yourself that's changed your wellness skin game?
So probiotics have changed my wellness skin game, like not just myself, but it's countless now. I mean, every time I hear a patient going, I cannot believe my skin changes. And I have a lot of women that are now getting adult acne in their 40s. It's like, what is going on? Why am I getting adult acne? I'm like an adult. This is what I should have got when I was in high school. So, you know, the whole thing with PCOS and it's all coming from the gut. So it's so key that, you know, the probiotics is a game changer. Absolutely. The food that has really benefited, you know, in terms of, for me personally and for my patients, and you're not going to believe this, is chicken soup.
Love it.
Chicken soup with tons of vegetables in it. That's what I tell every patient to have, you know, especially if they have digestive issues. You can make a vegetarian broth, but green leafy vegetables, broccoli is amazing, but it's so hard to digest, especially when most of us have problems with our digestion. And you know this, Dr. Cole, as well as I do, that digestion drains your energy. Whenever you need a ton of energy to digest, like a ton. So that's why you feel tired after you eat a meal, because your body's just expended all that energy. So really eating simple, like, you know, I've learned a lot from my grandmother, actually. She used to make a mean chicken soup with tons of veg in it, chicken. And it was so nutrient rich. And whenever you eat something like that, you don't feel drained. You feel like invigorated. And your digestion, you take control off the digestive system. But the compounds and things like broccoli are amazing for hormonal detoxification. And so I'll stick stuff like broccoli in there and different kind of veg. So that to me has been a massive game changer, even in the summer. Like,
that's great. Do you have them, or for yourself, do you make bone broth? Are you doing meat broth, or does it matter?
What I do is I get the bone broth from a very reputable place. It's called Dalesford in the UK, and I'll use the bone broth, and I will get organic chicken, free range, and have it, the leg, the thigh, everything put into a pot. And I'll just cook it with all the vegetables. So add like an additional layer of bone broth, because I don't really have time to boil a carcass. But if you have like leftover roast chicken dinners, go for it. I have lots of patients that love doing that, and they do it on a regular basis, and they love it, and they feel great. So yeah, that's something you can do if you really have the time. But if you don't, there's lots of amazing bone broth companies that I'm sure in America you have some really good ones.
Oh yeah, there's many. And just for everybody that's watching, in the comment section below on Facebook, we put all the links that we've been talking about, we've been putting below us. So Nigma, I could talk to you forever about this stuff, but tell everybody how they can get connected with all the cool stuff you're doing. How can they find you online?
Yeah, they can catch me on Instagram. It's Dr. Nigma Talib, DrNigma Talib. I post a lot I'm quite active on Instagram. Or they can go to my website, healthydoc.com, and check out where I am. I travel to LA a lot, so I have a clinic in LA and London. So I go between the both clinics.
Yeah. And you have some exciting things in store for the next years to come. And I don't know if you can say this. I mean, you can say this. You're the Four Seasons Hotel, like, resident naturopathic doctor extraordinaire. I mean, is that's amazing.
That sounds amazing. Much better than it is. I'm their resident naturopathic doctor at the Four Seasons Los Angeles. So yeah, it's great. I go there every 6 to 8 weeks and see patients there, which is it's so wonderful.
That's really cool. We do, if you have time for some questions, Sophie in Paris, she says she has your book in Paris and loves what you do. She has a question. Do you have advice to eliminate dark circles under the eyes?
Ooh, that was going to be my next Instagram post. You read my mind, Sophie. Okay, so dark circles under the eyes could be a couple of things. There's one, a genetic propensity. I have it genetically. The other one is iron deficiency anemia. The next one is food intolerance. So once you rule those out, you know, and even if you have a genetic propensity, you can still lower the amount. You can get the darkness revived. And remember how we talked about the 60,000 blood vessels? It's about reducing your sugar intake, because your sugar intake causes stickiness in the blood vessels and you lose that elasticity. So you're going to lose the microcirculation underneath the eyes. So that's going to cause it to look darker. So in English, that means cut out the sugar, the dairy, the gluten. Dairy actually causes a lot of darkness under the eyes. So if you cut out those 4 things and also use a really good serum, I recommend the Dr. Nigma serum #1. You can pat right under the eyes. Hydrating the area also will really help bring the darkness away.
That's good. And one more question. Somebody asked, I want to get their name, but I lost their name. But they asked, what about coffee? Does coffee hurt our skin? Does it help our skin? What are your thoughts? So
coffee, as you know, Dr. Cole, everybody's different. We all metabolize. If you and I took the same drug right now, we metabolize that drug 1,000-fold differently. So if you're getting hyper when you drink coffee and you get anxiety and heart palpitations, that's an answer to that. It's also not going to be good for your skin. Your body is saying no in a different kind of way. Some people can drink a coffee and go to bed. I don't know how they do that, but they do. They have a different P450 system with the liver, can detoxify it better. But I recommend that if you drink coffee or you're using coffee to survive and wake up in the morning, then it might not be for you. If you're drinking it because you enjoy it and you don't get heart palpitations, you know, and you don't have problems with sleeping, then you're fine.
Yeah, good answer. All right. So thank you so much, my friend, for taking the time out of your schedule and after hours in the UK.
Anything for you. It was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for talking, and I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.